Once again, make sure and hit that subscription icon. Don't just subscribe to me. Subscribe to all the other Oaks in this group. Whether you want to hear English, Scottish, South African, Kiwi, man, we've got it all here. These are all independent content creators. We're rugby fans talking about the game that we love. So this week, round 3, Major League Rugby. Let's talk about the scores, let's talk about the standings, and we'll talk about some predictions for round 4. So let's get into it, guys. So we'll go ahead and get it started off. Defending MLR champion New England Free Jacks at NOLA Gold. NOLA was 2-0 on this season so far this year and looking to make it 3-0. But unfortunately, yes, tries by Van der Bank, McDonald, and Lesage gave them the 27-21 victory over the NOLA Gold at home. Philemoni and Jackson Hope had 2 tries for NOLA. So NOLA goes to 2-1 as the Free Jacks improve to 2-1. Next up, we had the Battle of 1-1 as the Chicago Hounds were visiting DC and the Old Glory DC. And I had picked DC victory out of this. Unfortunately, I was wrong as we come away with a 22-22 all tie. Vaca and Muller with the 2 tries for DC. Adrian Carolsa, the Hottentots High grad and former Bolin Cavalier, with 1 penalty. Boomer, Piculo, and Savagna all having the tries for Chicago, as Chicago goes to 1-1-1 on the season, as does DC 1-1-1. Next up, we had the Miami Sharks still looking for that elusive first victory in their debut season, heading to the undefeated Houston SaberCats there at SaberCat Stadium in Houston, Texas. Didn't happen on this weekend for them as well. 30-19, the SaberCats come away with the victory. Tries by Warner, Nasoki, AJ Alatimu has 2 conversion penalties, and Misagalu, I know I butchered that. Echeverry had 4 penalties for the Sharks, and Bonasso had the lone try. Unfortunately, they go to 0-3, and the SaberCats remain undefeated and move to 3-0. Next up, we had the 1-1 Utah Warriors heading to the Pacific Northwest to take on Dan Creel and the Seattle Seawolves. Unfortunately, not coming away with a victory. The Seawolves remain undefeated, moving to 3-0, and the Utah Warriors move to 1-2. The tries for the Seawolves were Pulu, Joe Tuffety, who is a USA Eagle, and Stiegling with the 3 tries. Those were the 3 tries for Seattle. And Lahore and Bradford getting the tries for the losing effort with the Warriors. Next up, we had a return of the California Cup as LA went to San Diego for the inaugural round of this version of the Cup. The last one was between the Guiltinis and San Diego Legion. And unfortunately, still looking for that elusive first victory on the year, and they will keep looking after this. 1918, the narrowest of victories for the Legion of San Diego. Try by LA-born Western Cape Rays Marcel Bracchi, the center for San Diego, and McClutchy with 4 penalty kicks. Hollinshead had 2 for LA. The South African-born Yuri Van Vuren with a try, and Dam with another try. But unfortunately, LA falls to 0-3, and San Diego improves to 2-1. And the last game on the weekend between Carolina, still looking for their elusive first victory, and the 1-1 Dallas Jackals. And what a shootout this became. 68-28 the way of the Jackals, with tries coming by Richardson, Eastern Cape-born Fawn Isaacs, South African Juan Oliver, Ben, South African-born Canadian international Dewey Katsia added to his impressive total on the year after having a hat trick in the debut game. Foley, vice-captain Geronimo Gomez-Vara, first-round draft pick in last year's MLR draft Marcus Falau, and man of the match and fly half Tincho Elias added a try, as well as the multiple conversions that he made throughout the game. Turnbull, Basser, and Shelter had the tries in the losing effort for Carolina as they fall to 0-3, still looking for that first victory, and the Dallas Jackals match their previous season record of 2 wins through 3 rounds of Major League Rugby. Now let's take a look at the table through 3 rounds of action so far. The Western Conference, very tight race with 2 undefeated teams at the top of the table, with Houston and Seattle both 3-0. followed by the Dallas Jackals, San Diego Legion, Utah Warriors, and rounded out by Los Angeles. Take a look over at the Eastern Conference standings. We have New England at top, the defending MLR Shield champions. The NOLA Gold finally taking a loss this last weekend. Old Glory DC, the Chicago Hounds, the Miami Sharks, and Anthem RC of Carolina still looking for that first victory. Now, an interesting stat that I would like to notice is look at the most potent offense in the entire tournament, being the Dallas Jackals. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the season who would have the best offense through 3 rounds, I would have not said Dallas. Now, the alarming statistic in that is not only do they have the highest offense, they've also given up a lot of points as well, coming in second in points allowed, just behind the Anthem, who they just put up damn near 70 points. Now for the thing that you've all been waiting for, round 4 predictions by Darryl Keith Hendon here in Texas. So we've got the New England Free Jacks visiting Chicago this weekend. I've got the Free Jacks over the Chicago Hounds. 2 winless teams, both 2 expansion teams looking for their first victory. As it looks like the Anthem of Carolina will be visiting the Miami Sharks. I have picked the Miami Sharks to get their first victory in team history this weekend over Carolina. We've got the Houston SaberCats visiting Seattle, the battles of the unbeaten teams, and I am going to go with the Seattle Seawolves on this one just because it is in the Pacific Northwest. Next up, we've got the Utah Warriors at LA. LA, once again, another team looking for that first victory on the year, and I don't think they get it this week. I have picked Utah to win over Los Angeles. Next, we have NOLA Gold visiting the Dallas Jackals at Choctaw Stadium here in North Texas. It is a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. I have picked the NOLA Gold by a very slim margin. And last but not least, 3 p.m. March 23rd, Central Daylight Time, we've got San Diego at DC, and I have picked the Legion to come away with the victory. You guys let me know what you think in the comments section or whatnot, and if you want to follow along to Major League Rugby, Google it. It is absolutely free. All you need to do is enter an email address, and you can follow along with all this action. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next week with another recap and another look forward. Till then, be safe, guys.